Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim Becker, and today we're diving into a crucial topic that really resonates across all businesses. No matter the size or industry that you're in, the need for teamwork. Whether you're a CEO managing a large team or a business owner overseeing a small crew, even if you're an employee, the following information is so important of and about teamwork. And teamwork cannot be overstated. We all know the saying, teamwork makes the dream work, right? But what does that really mean in business, especially in the business context? How do we move beyond the cliche and really put into action our organizations to have this teamwork? Far too often we say something, but it's not put into action. We think it's in action and it's not. But how do we really put into action our teamwork for our organizations? Well, in this live stream, we'll explore the significance of teamwork, how it impacts productivity, and what strategies you can use to foster it inside your company. This isn't just theoretical. No, there's research here too. Case studies and real-world examples that show how effective teamwork can really make or break an organization. I'll be answering your questions at the end of this live stream. So if you have any questions or you want me to elaborate on something, or if you're outside of the Central America, let me know where you're at. Let me know the question that you have. So feel free to drop in on the chat at any point in time. I'll be able to see it right here, and that's not a problem. So I'd love to hear each one of you and what your thoughts and your experience of teamwork actually is. Maybe you have a good quote that you use all the time. As we all go along, throw it in there. Also, before we get started, don't forget about like, follow, and share this stream with your whole colleagues and your team and anyone that might benefit from today's discussion on teamwork. This topic is really important, and it applies to every single individual, from entry-level employees to top-level executives. So let's dive in. I really want to know why teamwork really matters. To kick things off, let's clarify a critical discussion. See, teamwork versus task work is completely different. Task work refers to the individual tasks that need to be completed by team members, while teamwork refers to how those tasks are carried out and collaborated throughout the whole organization or throughout that whole team. In many businesses, we do a great job of outlining task work. Who's responsible for what? But we often fall short when it comes to fostering true collaboration. And here's why. It is a problem, and this is why. No matter how talented or effective each individual on the team is, the power of teamwork lies in how these individuals come together to really achieve the goals that no one person could accomplish alone. Every organization I walk into, every establishment I walk into, I always see a team. And it's not just one person that's making it happen. I'm only one piece of any team that I'm on. I might have a different title, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm just as equal as everyone else, men and women. There's a saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is especially true in business, where complex challenges often really require diverse perspectives and skills. Effective teamwork is not just about dividing labor. No, it's about multiplying the impact. Research has shown that well-coordinated teams produce better results than even the most skilled individuals working in isolation. For example, in a study that I read, conduct on a team and its dynamics, teams that embrace collaboration, communication, and shared goals outperform teams where individualism was the norm. The successful teams created a synergetic environment, one where each person contributed to something much greater than they could have achieved just by themselves. They were committed to not just their own tasks, but the success of the whole team. Now, think about your own organization. Employees thrive in collaborative environments. When people feel they're part of a team working toward a common goal, it increases motivation, engagement, and job satisfaction. The sense of belonging and shared purpose can really transform the culture of a workplace, making it a place where people want to work rather than just have to work. And I've been in those environments where I have to work, and don't give me something else to do. That's just one more thing added on. Teams that are engaged and cohesive can handle higher workloads, adapt to change so much better, and consistently deliver stronger results. So if you want to build a team, matter of fact, a more productive one, innovation and resilient organizations need to invest in their team. See, collaboration isn't a nice to have thing. No, it's a fundamental driver of business success. I'm curious to know your thoughts. What do you think is the biggest benefit that teamwork actually brings to your organization? Is it better communication, more innovation? Share your thoughts in the chat, and we'll discuss them a little bit later. Now, let's talk about the impacts of and on team. So now we're going to explore what actually drives effective teamwork. One of the most widely used frameworks is the input process output model, the IPO model. Helps us really understand how teams, individuals, and every single person really matters and how they move from inputs. We have to understand how these teams move from the inputs, like individual team members and their own personal characteristics. And not to mention the organizational factors that go along with that actually gets to the outputs, such as performance and team satisfaction. In the middle of all of that are team processes. See, the interactions that allow teams to translate inputs into outputs. These are your processes. Let's break this down a little bit further. Inputs actually include the skills, diversity, and personality traits of your team members, as well as the resources they have to access them. For example, a team with complementary skills like strategic thinkings, right, paired with technical experts. When you take those technical experts with those thinkers, right, that really can think strategically, and you pair them together, it is more likely to succeed. Far too often, organizations get stuck with a technical expert and say, here you go, here's the technical expert of this, it's all done, bye. Later to find out it never really worked. And then we have strategic thinkers that come up with plans all day long, or they're the wrong ones, or it's never implemented. One of these two are pitfalls for all of us. And we want to succeed, right? Let's look at the processes. Processes is how the team members work together. This includes things like communication. How are we communicating? How are we coordinating? How are we adapting to the environment and what's going on, outside and inside? And conflict management. When things don't go as planned, they never do anyways. But we have to really pay attention to that and deal with that conflict and manage it properly. And hopefully we have a process for that. These processes really determine whether a team can effectively harness Its inputs, outputs are the end results. Team performance, satisfaction, and cohesion, in other words, a well-coordinated team with strong processes will perform better each and every day. Stay motivated, they definitely will. And they'll feel more connected to their work. What's really interesting is that teamwork doesn't happen automatically just because you have the right people in place. I used to think just having people that were on a team in high school or college, or a professional football team, or professional baseball team, or minor league was the right thing. Put them in there, no problem, the team will come together. No, it doesn't. You have to actively cultivate the processes that make teamwork actually work. Who's doing that? Is it you? Is it your boss? Is it the person below you? Did you help him or her? See, communication, for example, isn't just about sharing information. It's about ensuring that every team member has a clear understanding of their role, the project's goals, and how their contributions actually fit into the bigger picture. Moreover, adaptively, you have to really identify how can each person adapt on that team. And that's where adaptability is so key. In today's fast-paced business environment, teams need to be able to pivot so quickly. Teams that are flexible in how they approach problems are more likely to succeed. This is where the nice opportunity to really critique. Some people will actually look at a 9-box or a 9 critical considerations for teamwork. When we take these 9 critical considerations about teamwork and really apply them, it really comes into play. Teamwork is at a whole nother level. Covering everything from leadership to feedback to the mechanisms, teams that master these areas are more likely to not only meet but exceed their objectives. What do you think there is as the biggest factor influencing your team right now in any organization? Think about it. How about communication, adaptability, leadership, or is it something else? Let me know in the chat and we'll discuss it shortly. So let's talk about how to implement a team. And better yet, how to implement teamwork. All right, now we've discussed why teamwork is important and what influences it. Let's get into how you can implement effective teamwork in your organization starting right now, today. Number 1, ensuring commitment. It all begins with commitment. Without buy-in from your team, even the best teamwork strategies will fail and they will fall flat on its face. But how do you ensure everyone is actually on board? It's not just about telling your team, let's work together. Hey, let's work together. Hey, I sent him an email. All the managers got an email and we're all good. You need to communicate why teamwork is beneficial, not only for the organization, but also for each individual. One effective method is to involve your team in the process. Host a workshop or a meeting where your team members can voice their opinions on what good teamwork actually looks like. For your organization especially, get them to help define team goals and discuss what collaborative success means, looks like, sounds like, feels. When the people feel like they've had a hand in shaping the team's direction, they're far more likely to be committed. Another way to secure the commitment is through transparency. Being open with your team about why teamwork is so crucial for business outcomes. When we do that, things completely change. So, one thing I would strongly suggest is to explain the benefits, how working together really increases the efficiencies. It not only increases the efficiencies, it fosters innovation and helps individuals grow in their careers. See, commitment doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's built when people see the bigger picture and understand their role in that bigger picture. Let's get to number 2. We need to really clarify the roles and their responsibilities. Clarity is essential for effective teamwork. If there's any confusion about who's responsible for what, tasks will slip through the cracks and teamwork will break down each and every time. Every team member needs to know exactly what their role is and how it ties to the larger goal. When roles are unclear, people can either become overwhelmed or disengaged, leading to inefficiencies. An actionable way to really ensure clarity is by creating team charters. A team charter is essentially a roadmap that outlines the purpose of the team, each member's role on that team, and key objectives, not to mention the processes by which each one of those tasks are going to be completed. See, involve your team in drafting the charter so that everyone feels ownership over their responsibilities. It doesn't need to be complicated, just as a simple document that gets everyone on the same page and informed. Additionally, hold these regular meetings. When you hold these regular meetings, it allows the team to have check-ins. These meetings are vital for maintaining clarity. It's like walking around with bad, dirty glasses all day long. I clean these things several times a day. Use them as an opportunity, not my glasses, but use these meetings as an opportunity to discuss the processes. Address any confusion about responsibilities and realign the team's focus. Make sure these check-ins aren't just for updates. Well, today's 9/11. Just want to give a shout out to everyone for 9/11. There's a shout out. That's just an update. It's an update, right? It's 9/11, September 11th. There was a debate last night. There's an update. But also feedback. What's the feedback? How are we now different as a country after 9/11? How did the candidates do in speaking? Is it really going to change America? Ask your team how they're feeling about their roles and what might need clarification on. Those other two are too hard to get clarification on. But inside your own organization, get clarification on it. Realign it. Have clarity. And don't just check boxes. This not only keeps everyone clear on their tasks, but also fosters a culture of openness and continuous improvement. Number 3 is really where my heart is. It's developing interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are the glue that holds a team really together. Things like communication, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence, they're so essential. But they don't always come naturally to everyone. Some people are scared to even do anything or hold people accountable for their responsibilities. No, that's okay. We'll just leave it be. But yet, things are falling apart on the output. See, these skills need to be not nurtured. The bad things need to be nurtured. These things really need to be nurtured and natured, just like any technical skill. And the best way to do this is to really go through targeted training. Here's a quick approach. that each one of you can actually use and start implementing right away. First, assess your team. When you assess your team, you can really get that interpersonal dynamics. Use surveys or one-on-one conversations to gauge where the strengths and the gaps are. Communication and conflict resolution and the abilities that they have. This will all help you tailor the training to the specific needs of each one of the people on the team and your whole team together as a teamwork. Next, introduce targeted training sessions. For example, if communication is an issue, you could host a workshop on active listening or effective feedback techniques. These can be short, 1-hour sessions focused on building essentials, right? Or maybe working on those interpersonal skills. You could even go with a half hour each day or 15 minutes, in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon, and do that every single day as you go forward. You can bring in external trainers or simply use peer-to-peer learning. When you do this peer-to-peer learning, you're learning within the team. And hopefully you're yoking the person that's been there for a long time, that has the process and procedures and the leadership together, helping the other person that doesn't have it together. Last, cross-training and role switching. Some people freak out on this. I don't freak out on this. This gives other people to see the mess they're making for the output. When you're doing this job, someone else is doing that job, and you're not doing it the way that they do it. So the cross-training to let them see what's really needed over there, or the role switching, really helps. This is a fantastic way to build the empathy and the understanding within your team by learning about each other's roles and the challenges. We learn so much by doing that. I learned so much by doing that, especially when I'm home with my kids and my wife is somewhere else, and then I'm taking care of a 14-year-old and 11-year-old, and I'm being soccer mom, really soccer dad, and my kids don't play soccer. It's really much running and dance. See, your team members will become more supportive and collaborative. Schedule short cross-training sessions to really encourage team members to shadow. When they shadow each other for an hour or a few hours or even a whole day, to build these connections, we can really see what this job really takes. Furthermore, when a manager shadows an employee, they can really see what they're doing on the court versus what they're doing on the sidelines. As we look at these things, another important tool that we all should have inside of our toolbox for developing interpersonal skills is to create space for informal team interactions. These don't need to be big events, but something as simple as a regular team lunches, virtual coffee breaks, or a casual after-work gatherings that can really foster relationships. When team members get to know each other beyond work tasks, they're more likely to communicate openly and resolve conflicts a lot smoothly. So when we handle those conflicts more smoothly, things happen. Number 4, and that's implementing. We've given you a lot of information and we've talked about a lot. But when we implement a continuous feedback loop, things change. Feedback is essential for teamwork to evolve and improve over time. Encourage a culture of continuous feedback where your team feels comfortable sharing thoughts on how the processes or interactions can be improved. This regular feedback loop can really ensure that issues don't really harbor anymore. They can actually get fixed faster. And the small problems that were small problems are getting addressed before they become bigger obstacles. By starting to model this yourself, You, the leadership, you're the change that you want to see inside your organization. Ask your team for feedback on your leadership and the teamwork facilitation. This not only shows that you're willing and able, but that you're open to improving yourself. And it also sets the tone for the rest of the team to follow. Real-time feedback is so powerful. And in fine-tuning the team's dynamics and fostering a growth-oriented, towards culture. Now we're going to go to number 5. And that's really creating an ongoing development plan. When you finally get in there to look at your teamwork, it is not only a one-time initiative. It requires continuous development, regular assessing how your team is performing, and look for areas to improve. This could mean like revisiting your team charter to ensure it's still aligned with your goals or scheduling. Refreshing the training sessions to address any new challenges that may have been missed in the process or that are not working. Another practical step is to celebrate those wins. All those things that are working, that are amazing, celebrate those wins. Whether it's completing a big project or overcoming a difficult challenge, recognizing and celebrating these moments really reinforces the value of teamwork. It helps morale and really reminds the team that their collective efforts really lead to higher success. By taking these steps, securing commitment, ensuring clarity, fostering these interpersonal skills, promoting continuous feedback, and investing in your ongoing development, you'll be well on your way to building a strong collaborative team. Now, I want to ask, what's the biggest challenge you're facing when it comes to building teamwork in your organizations? Don't forget to really drop a note in the chat and let's dive into it together. So looking at this, let's see, we got Tim. You have been with your team. I've been with my team for 27 years, this team. The team drives by not bosses, by leaders that can bring the joy being at a workplace where the workplace is not the word for them. Yeah. So when people are struggling, Tim, on not having word in their life, you got to get a training session together. When you take a training session together on word, it restores the integrity in which that you already put in. When you can get a fresh new start, like, hey, listen, your word wasn't valued before, or you weren't honoring your word, or I wasn't honoring my word. Listen, I apologize. I recommit to what's going on, and let's get this thing started now. When you do that, you now have a fresh start. After a period of time, if they're still not honoring their word, you might have a bigger problem. So I would reach out to HR and find out how we can do that, or stick with them for a while and really get them on board. I've got a lot of great people I get to work with every day. I just restore the integrity. Let's go back to training. Get your training. Once you come out of training, we'll start fresh. Not a problem, because something was missing. So when that happens, check it out. Other than that, guide with them. They may need a little extra help on computers or typing or something like that. But when it comes to a word, if they're lying, you're just not going to have a place for someone that's lying on a regular basis. All right, my priorities for my team. Good. That's good. You're going to have a lot in here. Acknowledge, good, respond, and meet. That's awesome. Always make sure that you have some commitment in there too. So I like what you have there. If you can get a commitment back to word, that might be the thing that's missing, Tim, is getting that commitment and getting that word established, and communication. So there you go. And then we got communication as well. Listen, this is great. Teamwork is everyone's responsibility. And thank you so much for the comments. I really do appreciate it. One more critical thing I just thought of that I want to really make is teamwork is everyone. It's all of our responsibility. It's just up to the managers, right? A lot of companies get stuck in that. It's just up to the managers. And it's not, or the leaders. See, to create a culture of teamwork, every member of the team has to be committed to collaboration. And as Tim said, word. It's an ongoing process, not a one-time announcement. Think of a team or the teamwork like a muscle. You have to work on it consistently to build strength. That's why I'm in the gym at 6 o'clock every morning or 5:45. It's not enough to just say, we're going to start collaborating more. No, and expect things to happen. You need to create opportunities for collaboration. Provide the tools and the training that's necessary. Not to mention reinforce those behaviors that you want to see until they become second nature. Over time, with enough dedication, teamwork will become embedded in your company's culture. It'll be something that new employees pick up and they'll do it right away. And when they get out of training, bam, done, out. And it's there already. That's why training is so essential. And management is so essential. And leaders are so essential. It will be driving your company for greater output, efficiencies, and performance. Your organization will end up being successful. But to get there, everyone has to be really committed to having it work. Once again, we're ending here now, but I'd love to hear from you. What's currently standing in the way of building stronger teams, stronger individuals, a stronger teamwork in your organization? Is it a lack of tools? Unclear expectations? Let us all know in the chat. And we'll explore some solutions together. All right, let's quickly wrap this up. We've covered a lot today, and teamwork really matters because it allows organizations to achieve more than they could with individual efforts alone. It's not just about spitting out tasks or taking those tasks that one spits out. It's splitting them up, splitting out those tasks. And it even goes further than that. It's about creating synergy that multiplies the impact. Teamwork is influenced by factors like communication, adaptability, coordination, which can be understood through models like the input process output framework. Implementing teamwork requires commitment from the entire team, clarity of roles, stronger interpersonal skills, and regular training to really enforce these competencies. Don't forget, we have 9 detailed things that I went over earlier. Finally, teamwork is everyone's responsibility. It takes consistent effort from every individual to build a culture of collaboration. I hope this discussion has sparked some ideas for how you can enhance your teamwork in your own organization. Remember, it's not a quick fix. It's not. But with dedication, you can build a stronger, more cohesive team that drives better business outcomes. Before we close here, I want to take a moment and just thank you. I really do appreciate you being here today. It means so much to me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to like, follow, share this live stream if you found it valuable, and make sure to join us next time when we'll discuss once again what drives a business, what it takes into leadership, teamwork, communication, and success. Until then, take care and keep building strong teams.